At a glance, it seems like basing a restaurant solely around chicken wings and beer is a winning combination. Wings are delicious, versatile, and historically cheap. And beer? Beer is amazing.
We'll have 5 of those, please.
No, sorry. Can we have 4 of those and a tap water, please?
What?
That's why it's surprising that Buffalo Wild Wings is struggling. They seem to have all the elements of a successful business plan: fun food, sports, and an environment that's perfect for meeting a group of friends and just hanging out there. But in 2017, B-Dubs announced profits were down and they were starting to sell company-owned locations to franchisees. Let's talk about just why they're having such a tough time. Flying chicken prices. In 2017, Buffalo Wild Wings announced they were going to be restructuring the face of a huge problem. Their entire future rested on something completely out of their control: the price of chicken wings. And that's terrifying for any business, especially when the product in question is what they're all about. At the time they released their 2017 earnings forecast, they were paying an average of $2.16 per pound. Compare that to the previous year's average of $1.72 per pound, and you can see how that would start to cut into their bottom line. B-Dubs went into damage control mode, ending half-price wings Tuesday and replacing that with a boneless wings promotion they hoped would stop the bleeding caused by their increased product costs. And it's impossible to tell what's going to happen to those chicken prices in the future, and that makes it pretty hard to solidify a business plan. Market dip. In early 2018, Inspire Brands took a $2.9 billion chance and bought Buffalo Wild Wings. That's a huge investment, and when new CEO Paul Brown stepped up to tell everyone what problems would be fixed, he said he was going to start with the biggest: a lack of anything that set it apart from all the other places doing chicken wings. I think that if you look back when Buffalo Wild Wings was really successful, it was really the only one out there doing what it was doing. Then more competition has come in, and I think some of that competition has been a little bit more innovative. Brown says that they need to overhaul their menu, which has been largely unchanged for too long. He says they need to offer customers something they can't get anywhere else, and by extension, give them a reason to go there. Company stranglehold. In 2017, shareholder Mick McGuire made a move to seize 3 seats on the chain's board, and he got them. He did it because he saw something very wrong in the way B-Dubs was run. At the time, the company owned about half of their 1,250 locations, and that's a lot to keep track of. McGuire stepped onto the board and brought the argument that they should only own about 60 restaurants, and the rest should be sold off to franchisees. Not long after, the company announced they would sell 83 locations to franchisees. Just what is going to happen to the rest of the company-owned locations is still unclear, but representatives did note they were afraid selling too many properties at once would flood the market. But more franchise owners would give locations more hands-on control and might help steady a sinking ship. Sports fumble. In 2015, Fortune ran a feature on what a brilliant idea Buffalo Wild Wings' business plan was. It encouraged people to hang out, drink, eat, and watch the game. It's basically the opposite of your typical restaurant that wants to flip tables. In theory, it's great, and it worked for a while. But then sports, particularly football, started to take a nosedive in the ratings. According to Nation's Restaurant News, NFL ratings dropped by 5.3% in 2017. That translates to a lot of customers who would rather stay home on a Sunday afternoon. They said it was a warning for sports-centric chains like Buffalo Wild Wings, and at a time when more and more people are either turning away from big league sports or choosing to watch them at home, it may be time to rethink their strategy. Wild calories. Take just one glance at Buffalo Wild Wings' nutritional guide, and it's enough to make you put down the wings and grab a salad instead.
There's been a mistake. You've accidentally given me the food that my food eats.
A basic small serving size of wings is going to set you back 1,000 calories and 51 grams of fat. If you add sauce, you can add up to 310 calories and 30 grams of fat. And that's still just for the small size. Wings don't have to be that unhealthy. Cook them on a grill or in the oven instead of in oil, and you can cut out a lot of the bad stuff. When you can get all of the taste and none of the guilt from the comfort of your own kitchen, is it any wonder people are staying away? Lunch bust. For a long time, dinner made up around half of B-Dubs' targeted business. Lunch, late night, and happy hour sales were largely neglected, and that's a shame, because those are the perfect times for grabbing a quick order of wings and beer.
I'll have chicken wings.
Kitchen's closed until dinner. Just got cold stuff and desserts.
Boy, some chicken wings had really hit the spot.
It wasn't until 2015 that they introduced their fast break lunch menu and their guarantee of fast mid-afternoon service. Even more surprising, it wasn't until 2016 that they started pushing their happy hour menu. It seems a huge oversight, and it turned into a new business strategy that finally widened their target crowd. Too little? Too late? Hopefully not.